Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Settlers Saturday, episode 99 today, guys. Yeah, we're under attack here. I thought I saw something there. Straight off the bat, we're under attack. Okay, let's just fend these guys off. Now, what the plan I think we should do is actually take this land here. We've got these pioneers working their way down there. Cool, okay. Yeah, welcome back, guys, to another episode 99 today, guys. I've got something cool planned for next week's episode, but as usual, I procrastinate far too much, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to pull it off. Yeah, so, I hope we do, though. I hope we do. I'll have to work flat out. Let's just catch up. Let's have a little catch up of what we're actually doing here, where we are, really. How many? We've only got one tower. Okay, we've got these two towers here, nicely defended, and we are being attacked by the Romans. Of course, we saw that attack down here, but then there's also like an attack up here somewhere. Oh, there, look at that. There it is. Caught them. So they're kind of walking around and attacking from down there. That was convenient that we saw them from that angle. Cool. So I'll tell you what, we'll leave these troops down here in case we get attacked from the bottom again. We are being attacked from the side here. And how's it going for the troop production? We've got some... Yeah, okay, we do have some weapons. But now we're starting to produce a little bit of gold. I've told the barracks to only produce level 2 and level 3 swordsmen. Are you attacking us, dude? Where's your... There's obviously an army there somewhere. Should we bring the fight to them? I'm not sure. Yeah, from the barracks, of course. If you guys didn't know, I'm sure you do, but the level 3 swordsmen need 2 bars of gold, and the level 2 swordsmen need 1 bar of gold. We can, of course, if we need some troops as fast as possible, create the level 1 swordsmen, which don't need any gold at all. And how is our gold production going? We've got 3 gold mines. Oh, here they go. Took their time. Maybe they were waiting for backup, I don't know. Who knows? Is this... There we go, let's speed things up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so we'll wipe these guys out and then we'll get back to business. We are losing a few troops here. And I did build this healer's quarters, so yeah, there's a guy here that's probably going to die before I can... Did he just die? No. Come on. Alt click, is it, or control click? One of these, I think it might be alt click. It tells the soldiers just to ignore everybody, ignore all the troops. Okay, we'll send them back. We do need a few more troops there. There's not many. Yeah, there's not many there. I mean, we have this army down here, but once again, these are all level 1 troops for now. Yeah. So yeah, let's look at the gold production here. We've got 3 gold mines. No food at these gold mines, though. Very interesting. Is this one just the 1 gold smelter? 2 gold smelters. Once again, there's no gold ore. I'm sure. I could have sworn we made the gold ore more important. There we go. I'm trying to think if we did that or not, or I just thought about it. I'm not sure. Yeah, so gold ore is now the most important thing there is. And of course, let's think about some food for those gold mines. I think they prefer fish, but we've turned the fish down for the gold mines. Look at that. We've cranked it all the way down so the fish actually go to the iron mine there. So we'll swap that round. Look at this. We've got these gold mines here with no fish whatsoever. And these iron mines are living at large with both meat and fish. They've got more food than they can possibly eat in a day. And just next door their neighbours are starving. That's very selfish. Yeah, so we've stopped the fish going to the iron mine now because it looks like, I was going to say, it looks like we've got the meat production up and running, but in fact, we've got 2 iron mines here that don't have anything. Let's just look at the amount of food we've got going. Where are you? Fisherman's hut. We have 1 fisherman's hut. Okay. So yeah, let's place a few more. Screw it. Yeah, something like that. 2 extra. We could possibly go for a 3rd. Maybe down around here sometime. Once our pioneers have captured this land, we'll go for a 3rd fisherman's hut down there. That should be good for now, though. We have 0 fishing poles, so of course we've got to go to the toolsmith and get a couple of those. Thank you very much. Yeah, and then let's have a look at the meat production, which is of course equally vital. We have 2 bakeries. That's not meat production, but interesting to note. The pig ranch, we've got 2 pig ranches, 1 slaughterhouse. So let's have a look here at the pig ranches. Actually need water. But we have a waterworks literally right next to it with loads and loads of water. So that makes me think that we need a lodge residence. Luckily we've got one on the way here. Yeah, we probably could go for another lodge residence straight away. Let's start leveling that out. Yeah, we'll get the diggers. Those diggers don't look like they've got anything to do, so we'll send them up here to this lodge residence to flatten that out for us. That should help give us some units. It looks like this is almost complete. Yeah, that should help give us some carriers. And we can crank up the amount of carriers here. So last episode, I think we made quite a lot of progress actually. We built all of these weaponsmiths and we've extended the base quite a nice amount as well. Yeah, so we're doing quite well actually. If we can carry on that momentum, that would be great. One of the things I'm thinking is we could possibly go for a storage area. This particular storage area we'll just put smack bang in the center of the base, because this is going to be purely for wood, processed wood, planks even, not logs, purely planks, and we're going to fill that thing entirely with planks. And then I think what we're going to do is also go for some coal makers huts. And we're going to spam some coal makers huts everywhere, just because we only have 4 coal mines at the moment, and I don't think we found any other coal. So that's our only supply of coal. In fact, that's doing quite bad actually. With none of these have bread. Huh. Where is the bakery? All these buildings look the same. Okay, yeah, so the bakery here also needs water. How's the windmill doing? Okay, that needs the grain. But the grain farms are maxed out. So yeah, we definitely do have a problem with the amount of people we have. Yeah, we're definitely lacking people. Luckily, there's a flood of fat Viking guys coming out of this building. So that should definitely help. That should definitely help our situation. I'm tempted to go for another large residence straight away, because if you guys know me by now, we're 99 episodes in, you should know I absolutely hate it when we run out of carriers, when we run out of settlers and there's no free settlers available, or the whole economy just grinds to a halt and then it's like a complete slog. It's a nightmare to kind of get out of that situation. So yeah, that sucks. So we should definitely keep on top of that by building large residences. I'll put this one on a high priority, just so we don't. I wouldn't want to see resources go to this building up here, while this one is so close to being completed. It looks like there's a few planks on the way. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll be completed. So we're all good there. Unless these guys disobey my orders and take the planks up to this building, which would be annoying. They're taking stone there, but that's okay. That's fine. Right, and then what else did we go for? We went for a couple of fishermen's huts. Let's just check the working areas. Yeah, these are close enough, to be honest. Oh, that one can't. That one's completely outside of his working area. Oh, it looks like he's doing his thing. He's just within it. There we go. We'll give him a little bit more freedom. A little bit more freedom to roam there. Yeah, so we're getting loads and loads of coal. We're getting so much coal. Like literally, I was going to say literally the second it's made, we're grabbing it. But not quite that bad. But we are grabbing it pretty damn quick, actually. And then that's going down, and this should settle down. This should like achieve equilibrium. Maybe is that the word I'm looking for? This should sort itself out at least. Now we've got more people. Maybe there was a little backlog of coal there because we didn't have enough carriers. So I am going to crank the amount of carriers we have here. Let's get it to a nice even amount. Yeah, so 118 people overall. The minimum amount of carriers we will ever have is 75. There's also then 45 guys left to become troops. And I think at the moment they're also going to be carriers for us. They're not just going to stand around and do nothing. They'll do their job unless they're needed in a building or as troops. So yeah, we're good there. But the minimum is going to be 75. Let's make it 90, 100. The minimum's 100. There we go. Cool. So we're going to have loads of carriers all the time. Look at this. We're cranking out level 2 swordsmen, which is great. Which makes a lot of sense, actually. I was thinking, what? There's no level 3 guys. Oh, there's one level 3 guy there. But that makes sense because we've got way more swords. We've got way more weapons than we have gold. Yeah. So this storage area is complete, and we'll get purely planks in that one then, I think. I'm looking around here, and look at this. There's logs galore everywhere. Literally all these buildings are stacked up with logs. Even the sawmills here are completely maxed out on planks and logs. So yeah, if we store all of these planks, then that should get this system rolling as well. And then once we've got a nice amount of planks stored, I think we'll go for some coal makers' huts as well. And the coal makers' huts use logs. And the only thing I'm worried about is I'd hate to build like 5, 10, whatever coal makers' huts, and then we need to build a building later on, and all of the logs go into the coal makers' huts and not to the sawmills. And suddenly we can't build buildings because we don't have planks. You know what I mean? So if we get ourselves a nice stockpile of planks, which it looks like is going pretty well already, that's giving the sawmill guys something to do already, and that's having a knock-on effect with the woodcutters huts. They're all out doing things as well. Brilliant, brilliant. Let's check this out up here. This large residence is almost complete as well. Cool. One more. Good, just for good measure, let's go for one more, yeah. Whatever, that'll do. Cool, and where are our... Yeah, okay, our pioneers are here. I really want to kind of capture this land so we can be ready. We can just be as ready as possible. However, there's nowhere we can build towers. Look, I've got the tower thing selected here. And all around this area here, there's nowhere we can build towers. So the only way to capture this land... which we did mostly last episode, and it looks like a little bit today. The only way to capture this land has been through pioneers, so we'll let them finish their job. We'll forget about this little area here. We don't care about that. That's fine. Right, let's get these pioneers over here. We've already got 2 on the job, it seems like. Cool. We'll get the pioneers over here, and hopefully we don't get attacked. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what. I'll send a couple more like down here. We'll spread them out a little bit just in case we do get attacked. They're not going to all die at once, because that would suck. And I'll tell you what, just to be sure, we'll send a few guys down here just to back up that army there, and these guys can come up here and defend these towers for us. Oh, look at this. More coal on the way. The steady pace of industry. The march of industry carrying coal to be made into luxury weapons for us. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, so look at this. These gold mines are now very nicely sorted out with fish. How many fish do we have up here? These are almost maxed out with fish. So that's really cool to see. we could go for another gold smelting works. Seeing as we have so many weaponsmiths in comparison to gold smelters, and we have both of these gold smelters working flat out, doing as much as possible, and there's still ore left, that gives me a reason to think we should at least build a couple more. Where am I looking? A couple more gold smelters. Man, I always get confused in good old Settlers 4 where all of the buildings are. There we go. Okay, yeah, 2 I think is a good idea. Look at this. Almost maxed out storage area. Beautiful sight to see. Cool. And that makes me think as well, we can go for some coal makers' huts. It would be nice to kind of claim this land here. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go to the toolsmith and we'll ask him very nicely to make 10 more shovels for us. Yeah. So we've got 9 there. He's already in the process of making the first one. He was ready to go. He was like standing right at the door on the inside like, come on, just tell me something to do and I'll do it instantly. So there he is, straight away knocking out some shovels for us. Brilliant. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go for the time being, let's go for some storage areas while things are being built. Maybe like 3 storage areas, yeah. One of these I think we will use for tools. We'll definitely store tools there because he's got a few things lying around, a few pickaxes and stuff. But that means we can give him a few jobs to do. We can make a few hammers just so we're on top of things. Yeah. Cool. Speaking of making tools and doing things, I think maybe we could go for a grain farm. I'm just thinking maybe one more, seeing as we're upping the ante a little bit and trying to squeeze out as much food as possible. Let's start with the primary building, which is of course a grain farm. Apart from fishermen's huts don't need grain at all, but all the other food sources do need grain, so we'll add another one of those, and of course then we need a scythe. Thank you. Cool. More level 2 guys. Once we start getting more and more gold, I think I'll switch over to level 3. I'm just a little bit worried at the moment. Yeah, look at this. Get the pioneers out of there. There is actually a ship there. That's the first time we've seen a ship. I wasn't sure if the ships actually came in or if they kind of just spawned in. Yeah, but there is actually a ship there. Okay. And yeah, let's get back to business then, pioneers. Let's just a little bit of backup there. There's a level 3 bowman there as well. Cool. And we've got so many buildings going on. Oh, look at this large residence that's been completed. We've got loads and loads of large residences around here. Wow. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Now, one of the things I am concerned with is, let's just check this. Okay, the under attack thing, we knew about that, that's fine. Yeah, one of the things I am concerned with is building too many storage areas. And you might think, like, what's the problem with building storage areas? But let's say, for example, we decide to store weapons. That kind of gives, like, an artificial demand for weapons. So, like this, at the moment, the second like this guy can't make any more weapons. If we dedicate like 2 storage areas to weapons, the weaponsmiths will be flat out making weapons as much as possible, which doesn't really seem like a bad thing until you realise that they will be draining coal as fast as possible, maybe even faster than it can be produced, which means that for example, the goldsmith might not be able to make enough gold. So we've already had this problem. We had a message there saying that the woodcutter couldn't find any. Look at this. It's this guy. Oh, we're being attacked again. How inconvenient. There we go. Yeah, we already got a message. It might have been this guy that the woodcutter couldn't find any more wood in his working area, and that's because we placed this artificial demand for wood by building this storage area. Like, this much wood would be a huge building project. You know what I mean? From this storage area, if you had to build this, use this much wood in buildings, we'd be talking like multiple large residences. In fact, let's have a look how many planks of wood a large residence needs. 15. Yeah, so we could do, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be like 4 large residences worth of wood that we just suddenly demanded, on top of all the buildings that we're building anyway. So we put this massive artificial demand on the wood industry, and it looks like the foresters' huts couldn't keep up with it. Huh. So I'm tempted to not do the same with... Well, we got to be careful. It would be nice to store a load of weapons, but we do have to be careful. I think one of the things we could store is coal, which means that the second coal comes out of these buildings, it's going to be taken away, and it looks like... Okay, this one maybe not. I was going to say, it looks like this one is maxed out with coal, and so can't produce any more coal, but it's got 6 and not 8. But I think storing coal is a good idea. When it comes to storing iron, maybe not. Like iron bars, because we'll suddenly have loads and loads of iron bars, and once again the coal is going to be used up, you know what I mean, quite rapid. We could store gold, or gold ore would make sense. We could store gold ore, that would work quite nicely. But yeah, I don't want to store like a final resource, at the end of a production chain, metal and swords and things like that. Now, one of the things I just realised, actually, we've got this beekeeper's hut, and did we do anything with it? Look at this, we don't even have mead makers' huts. What? Okay, we can probably squeeze one in there. Where's that grain farm going? Okay, the grain farm's going up there, doing its thing in that direction, so we can squeeze this mead maker's hut in. Yeah, we've had these beekeepers' huts probably maxed out since the start of the episode, and we've done nothing with them. And we need a little bit of space, so let's go for 10 pioneers, I think. Brilliant. Did this toolsmith make that extra... I'm not sure if he made that extra shovel or not. Whatever, we'll see. Okay, here are our pioneers. Let's wait for them to all gather up. And is this another large residence we've got going? Yes, it is. Okay. We can probably crush a few of these buildings. If you look here, we only have 125 guys, and we've got beds for 140. Now, I think once we crush a building, it drops the amount of beds available by 50. Yeah, okay, so we've got loads of room. We can do loads. Here we go. Of course, we don't want the amount of beds to be lower than the amount of people we have. I'm sure you guys know by now, but for those of you that don't know, our guys will go on strike if they have nowhere to sleep. So we've got to be quite careful when crushing these beds. We can get rid of another. We've got to be quite careful when crushing the large residences, though. And no more than this, otherwise they'll go on strike. We'll have like 31 people go on strike, which is not what we want. It does, however, mean we've got loads of space up here and a few extra resources as well. Cool. And we've got a stone cutter there. Did you see any other stone? You can't see it in the fog of war, but I think there might have been some stone up in this direction. Yeah, we don't want to run out of stone. There was a message earlier that we were low on stone, so we've got to pay attention to that for sure. Let's just double check all of our food production here. It looks like things are going fairly well, actually. Yeah, it's all getting there. We've got a large residence right in the middle of it all. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I think, now we're nicely stacked up on wood and getting a little bit of space, let's go for loads and loads of coal makers' huts, like as many as we can fit in. 5, this would be the 5th, let's go for like, okay, we can't fit any more in, 5 will do for now. Yeah, so that's going to produce loads and loads of coal for us, obviously. And we need as much coal as possible. Yeah, I mean, these guys are doing the thing, but I'm sure they're going to run out of coal soon. This woodcutter, it's this guy, ran out of logs to cut. Okay, we'll have to bear that in mind. We could go for another forester's hut here, and another log, another woodcutter there. Yeah, that'll do. Can we squeeze in anything else for the time being? No, we can't. Okay, we can squeeze in a woodcutter there. There's a few trees around here. Hopefully by that time the pioneers will have claimed all of this land, and then we can go for a few extra foresters and woodcutters. Of course, I'm doing this so we can have logs to keep up with the demand of the coal makers' huts. So I lost count of how many was that? 2 extra. But whatever, we'll go for like, let's just say 5. 5 extra axes, please. And maybe a couple of hammers, just in case we decide to do anything like that. We do have these pioneers, which I said we'd come back to. It's a good thing I remembered about that. Can I control click? Oh, alt click has selected them all. And we'll send them on the way to claim this land then. Thank you very much. And these guys are almost done claiming this land here as well. Okay. I think one of the things we could do, someone suggested, and I do really apologise. I'm terrible with remembering names and things like that. And man, I can't remember who it was. It was very helpful advice though. Someone said put a lookout tower down where you're being attacked, and you'll be able to see them coming. Also, we could then go for a shipyard and get a ship in there, like there's like that battleship. It's not an actual battleship, but it's a ship for battle. If you know what I mean. It's not a battleship. No, not the vehicle hall. Oops, where are you? Harbour. Was it the harbour or the shipyard? Okay. Can we squeeze the harbour in anywhere? Okay, we've only got this one option here. That kind of sucks. We'll go for the shipyard first then. That's probably all we need, actually. And is there any more flat land that we could build a harbour on? Maybe. Oh yeah, look at that. We could just squeeze one in there. Cool. Good to know, but we're not going to do that now. Okay. Look at all this iron. We've got so much iron. We've got loads of gold ore stacked up there. That's looking really good, actually. Got these gold smelters doing their thing like crazy as well. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go for gold as the most important resource here. Yeah. I mean, gold isn't going to affect pretty much anything at all until it's created, and then it's going to be the highest priority to take it to the only place it can go, which is the barracks. So having gold as the most important item here isn't going to change too much. It's not going to have a major effect. It's only going to mean we're going to have quite a few of these guys carrying gold bars up to where it needs to go, and then we can get these level 3 troops. Cool. I'm thinking, seeing as we have so much gold ore, look at that, we've got loads of gold ore now, and these guys are still working away, digging up as much gold as possible. Let's go for another gold smelters, or 2. Are we keeping up with the weapons? We are. Look at this. These weaponsmiths are all maxed out with weapons, so we're all good there. Yeah, so let's go for 2 extra gold smelters. Cool. There are no free settlers to occupy. Yeah, we've just started making these coal mines. What? Oh no. I was telling you, I hate when that happens. There we go. Let's whack that on a high priority and get all of these diggers which are on the opposite side of the map to go all the way up here. That doesn't make sense. What we can do is just build one down here. There we go. We'll squeeze it in there. Cool. So we've got these storage areas looking good. I was thinking about storing maybe iron ore, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not iron ore. I think we'll leave that out. There's a little bit of coal here. Had I missed that? What's the deal with this coal here? Did I notice that before? I don't know. Let's get a geologist to check this stuff out. And I'm not sure how long's left of the episode, guys. I ended up having to pause and do it in 2 recordings, so I think we're probably approaching the end of the episode, sometime soon at least. Yeah, let's get this geologist, send him on his way, and then I'm going to have to just double check whereabouts we are with timing. Where are you, geologist? It's probably of course, we've got no free settlers. Ha! Well, that sucks. Let me just check how long is left of the episode, guys. Well, it actually, it looks like we've ran over just by a little bit anyway. Well, obviously you guys know that, but now I know that as well. So I am going to call the episode here, guys. Oh, look at this lovely shipyard, though. Let's go for a warship. That was it. It is actually called a warship. Oh no, I was calling it a battleship. Warship makes more sense. I was calling it a battleship. Yeah, lovely. But I think we've made a nice bit of progress here, guys. We've tapped out all of this stone here, so we'll have to pay attention to stone. We've started working on getting mana, which has kind of been neglected a little bit. I've got as far as building the mead makers huts, but we haven't really taken it any further than that. We've captured a load of land. We've worked on our gold production here. Yeah, we're also setting ourselves up for more coal production. We've built a few extra food production things. Cool. It's looking really good. Look at the amount of gold we have here. That's crazy. So I think next episode, guys, we're going to be tanked up. We're going to be ready for some combat. I reckon we are. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys, and I will see you guys next week for episode 100 of Settler Saturday.